Hello and welcome back to Apt4U. In this particular video, we will be discussing a new problem from greedy algorithms. Basically, we have to find the minimum number of platforms required in a railway station. Now, what is the problem? What is the idea behind it? Let us discuss in detail. So the problem basically says that we are provided with the arrival time and the departure time, okay, of all the trains that reach a railway station. Now, we have to find the minimum number of platforms that will be required for the railway station so that no train is kept waiting. So this is an important point to consider, that we should ensure that no train is going to wait, and so we have to find the minimum number of platforms required so that no train has to wait for another train to leave the platform, because we know that in a railway station there are many trains coming and departing. So what happens is, a moment a platform is empty, a train will take that place. Now if another train comes and if the platform is not empty, what will it do? I will have to give another platform to it, right? And now if a train is arriving and we see that the previous platform is empty, so that platform can be given to the train. So in this way, basically we have to find the minimum number of platforms that should actually be present in the railway station so that no train is kept waiting. So what happens is, we are basically provided with all the trains, and now consider that all the trains arrive on the same day and leave on the same day. Okay, basically this is the timing given for a single day. Now arrival and departure time can never be same for a train. Okay, this is, they have focused on an important point. They have said that arrival and departure time of a train can never be same for a given train, and there is a condition that we can have arrival time of one train equal to departure time of the other. Means there can be a condition when, suppose at time t, train 1, train 2 is leaving the platform and train 1 is entering the platform. Okay, getting the point? There can be an instant of time t where t2 is leaving the platform and t1 is entering the station. So in that particular case, you cannot assume that T1 will be given the platform which was occupied by T2. So for that you have to allocate a new platform to T1. This is that they have mentioned. So please focus on this, because this is going to make a change in the code. At any given instance of time, same platform cannot be used for departure of a train and arrival of another train. In such case, we need different platforms, right? So having said that, now let us see what is the constraint that is given. Now they have basically asked us to solve this particular problem in time complexity order n log n. Okay, order n log n, we have to solve it. And the auxiliary space that they have talked about is order n. So we will see the approach in order n, and then also we will try to improve it, whether it can be solved in order 1 or not. So first of all, we will focus on solving it in order n, and time complexity order n log n, right? So let us just now quickly jump into the solution of the problem. So what will be the approach? Basically, I am just giving you a highlight about how we are going to proceed. So basically, if you focus on the particular example that is given, what we are going to do is, basically we are going to sort. Now we know that the information arrival is giving the information of train arriving, right? So the information of the arrival is given by this array. The information of departure of train is given by this array. So train departs. Getting the point? So train arrival information is given by this array. Train departs information is given by this array. So basically, there would be a good idea. It would be a good idea basically if I sort this and this also. Okay, why? We will see. We will sort them in the ascending order, and we will sort this also in ascending order. So if I sort them, what will happen? I'll show you the output. Alright, so I have basically sorted them. So by default, this particular array is already sorted, but for generalization purpose, I will assume that they are not sorted, right? And hence I will sort this particular array ARR, and I will sort this particular array DEP. So once I sort the array arrival time, then what will happen? The timings will be sorted in ascending order. Once I sort this departure time, this will also be sorted in ascending order. So basically, let us write the command for sorting them. So if I just write the command for sorting them, let me now just increase the size of the screen. Great. So what we are going to do is, basically, we are going to sort them. So I just sort them here. Sort array ARR plus n. So this particular first array will be sorted, and then the departure time will also be sorted. So DEP comma DEP plus n. Fine. So once I have sorted them, now I will be doing what? Basically I will be traversing this particular, from this point till end, and a pointer which will be used to traverse this particular array from here to here. So for that I will be basically using two pointers. So let us suppose integer I comma j, and I'll assume that I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. Okay, so I is equal to 0 and j is equal to 0. So basically my pointer I is pointing to this and j is pointing to this, right? Now what should I do? I will basically check while the arrival time of I is less than the departure time of j. Okay, so what would happen? Less than equal to. So while the arrival time of I is less than equal to departure time of j, what is the significance? So basically, sorry, this I'll be doing, not this. First of all, we have to traverse, right? This should be I less than n and j less than n. Why? Because first of all, we are going to traverse these arrays, and inside it we will be checking if array of I is less than or equal to dep of j. What does it indicate? It indicates that basically, just pay attention here, if the arrival time is I is pointing here, j is pointing here, right? So if the arrival time is less than departure time, it indicates that I need a platform, right? Basically, I need a platform. You need a platform. Now if I need a platform, what will I do? I'll basically create another array. So let me create another array. It will be vector int a. Fine. What will I do? Now the moment I came to know that my arrival time is 09 hours, suppose at 9 AM a train is going to arrive and it is going to depart at 9:10, right? So right now, basically, since this train has arrived, you should give it a platform, right? So what would I do? I will say a dot pushback 1. What will it indicate? It indicates that basically I need a platform. I need one platform. So basically, in our array A, which is a vector array, what happens? I will push 1. What the point? And you say I plus plus. Okay, and we will say I plus plus. The pointer moves forward. Alright. Because basically, see, I is less than or equal to departure time. So you need a platform, right? So I'll say a dot pushback 1 means I need one platform at this instant, and say I plus plus. What next? I comes here. This is no longer here, right? So let me rub this. So again, if a of I is greater than departure time of j, what will it indicate? Now see, this train is still in the platform. Means a train is already in the platform whose departure time is 09:10 hours, and another train is going to come at 9:40. Now we know that this is already sorted, so no problem. So basically, a train is going to come at 9:40, right? And a train is going to depart at 9:10. So basically, I know that a train will depart first, and then a train will come. So basically, I don't need an extra platform for it. So I'll basically say a train has departed. Else I'll say, else we know that a train will be departing, isn't it? At this instant of time, I will know that okay, a train has basically departed by so far, right? Because you see, this train will already depart. Now if a train is, if you are going to pick an element from this particular array, we will push back -1. Okay, a dot pushback -1. So whenever you are picking an element from the arrival, so you will push back 1, and whenever we are picking from an array from an element from departure array, we will push back -1. So why? So because picking an element from arrival indicates that a train is going to arrive and I need an extra platform, and picking an element from departure means a train is going to depart by that time, right? So I don't need an extra platform, so I'll just say pushback -1, and again I'll increment the pointer j++, right? So you see, I basically pushed here what? -1, right? Now j is pointing to this point. Now pay attention. Array of I is 940, departure is 1200. What it indicates? It indicates that array of I is basically less than departure j. So basically, I need one more platform, right? Because you see, so long right now arrival time is 940. So this is going to leave at this is going to come at 940, and the departure time is 1200. So arrival time is less than the departure time, and we know that if arrival time is less than departure time, it indicates that I need an extra platform. So basically, I'll push 1 again, right? Now I will increment further. I comes here, j comes here. Again, arrival time is 950, departure time is 1200 hours. So basically, arrival time is less than departure time. It indicates I need one more platform, so push 1. Increment I further. Arrival time is 1100, departure time is 1200. So I need one more platform, push 1. Increment further. Arrival time is 1500, departure time is 1200. So what does it indicate? It indicates that basically one train will be departed by so far, right? So -1, right? So, and this increments j by here to here, this point. Now you see 1500 1120. What it indicates? One train will already be departed by this time, isn't it? So -1, because I'm going to pick an element from this side, so I'll do pushback -1. Now this basically comes here. 1500 1130, which is smaller? This is smaller. Picking element from departure, -1. Come here. 1500 1900, what does it indicate? I'm going to pick up an element from the smaller one, basically this one, arrival. So I need one more platform, so +1. Now increments here, 1800 and 1900, which is smaller? Basically this is smaller, so +1, right? And now you see this goes further, I++, and now when you come I less than n will be false, and we will no longer enter the loop. What should we do now? This is our array A. Now if you find the cumulative sum, and then just replace the array elements with the cumulative sum, then the maximum value will indicate the maximum number of platforms needed at any instant. You see, right now my sum will be 1. At this point 1 minus 1 will be 0. At this point 1 minus 1 0 plus 1 1. At this point 1 minus 1 0 plus 1 1 plus 1 2. At this point 1 minus 1 0 plus 1 1 plus 1 2 plus 1 3. 3 minus 1 2 1 0 1 2, right? So what is the maximum number of platforms that were basically you needed at any instant? It was 3. So in order to implement this particular thing in code, once I have already, see, once the while loop exits, so you have basically all the elements in your vector array A, right? In your vector array A has all the status 1 minus 1 1 minus 1, so which basically gives the status update, right? How the train that is coming at an instant and train is leaving at some point. Now at any instant, how many platforms do I need? In order to ensure that, I will basically say run a loop from for I equal to 0, I less than a dot size, right? And say I++. So basically I'll run a loop from 0 and less than a dot size I++, and I'll declare a variable integer, suppose sum equal to 0, right? What should I do? I'll say sum equal to sum plus a of I for finding the cumulative sum, and I'll replace a of I with the sum. So sum equal to sum plus a of I, you see that is what I am doing here, and I am just replacing a of I with the sum. Now finally what should I do? You should print out the maximum sum in this particular present in this particular array, right? So what should I do for that? Alright, so let me clear the screen. Fine. So since basically we need the maximum value of ai in that particular array after we have updated a of I, so basically we'll write integer mx equal to star max element a is our array dot begin a dot end. So this will basically return the maximum value at that instant. So once we have the value mx, what we can do? We can basically return mx, right? Yeah, so this should work. Let us now see, compile and run the code. So 3 is correct, and let us see the output. Yeah, so problem works fine, and you see this is how we can basically solve this particular problem of finding minimum number of platforms that is required, so that no train has to wait for the others. I hope you got a good intuition about how the problem can actually be solved. So here in this particular problem, we have basically used a time complexity of order n log n because we are sorting them, and space complexity is basically order n. Now they have said in the question we can use order n, that is why I am using order n, but this can also be made more efficient to order of 1. Okay, so I'll come up with that approach also in the next video, but for this particular video the time complexity is order n log n and space complexity is order n. Why order n? Because you see I am using an extra array A to keep track of the trains arriving and departing, right? So +1 -1, that is what we were trying to do, isn't it? So yeah, that's all from this particular video. I hope this was helpful. In case of any doubt, please put your doubts in the comment section and just like, share and subscribe. Thank you.